Okay, guys. Please, like 12 Irrational Beliefs. Albert. Oh my God, I put Albert Einstein on here by Albert Ellis, and I think it's like some. Look at. I really thought it was Einstein. I'm not joking. I did not read this correctly. Like I'm kind of like I'm a little upset. So it's like, oh my God, I gotta calm down. So anyway, the idea that it is a dire necessity for adults to be loved by significant others for almost everything they do. And that is like, are you serious? Like, that's something I learned like on my road to forgiveness. It's like, I'm not perfect and I gotta forgive myself for not being perfect. So if you are forgiving yourself for not being perfect, it's like you learn that you have to love yourself first and you gotta love your flaws too. Like everything you do is not gonna be the best thing ever. You know what I'm saying? So this is what he's saying. Instead of their concentrating on their own self-respect, on winning approval for practical purpose, and on loving rather than being loved. You see what I'm saying? So it's like that's the truth. Like, um, it's not a necessity for other people to have to love me for those things. And like me, like I've been through, like it's like I have had issues with foster parents. I've had issues with cousins. I had issues, you know what I'm saying, with people who are kidnappers and all this different stuff. And it's like, if I would have depended on them to love me, where would I be? Where would I be? Where would I be? The idea that certain acts are awful or wicked and that people who perform such acts should be severely damned. The truth. Just because a person drinks does not mean that they are evil. Just because a person takes pills doesn't mean they're evil. Just because a person has sex doesn't mean now they're evil. And that's what happens in like horror movies. Like this is the statement that horror movies are made of. Instead of the idea that certain acts are self-defeating or antisocial and that people who perform such acts are behaving stupidly, ignorantly, or neurotically and would be better helped to change. People's poor behaviors do not make them rotten individuals. And that's the truth. Like sometimes people haven't learned how to cope or deal with certain things. And so it's like when they don't know how to cope or deal with certain things, like um, they found other coping mechanisms. And it could be the texture in their mouth, it could be like the way down their throat. It could be like some type of seduction them. And so just because it happens, and some people don't even overdose, they just do it, and somebody will wickedly be like, "Oh no, you're awful." Like I was just doing a post about this about somebody telling me that I was wrong for teaching my that women are wrong for teaching their children to curse. It's like, well, that's my sin. I take it as my sin. So how is that wrong? And it's like a joke anyway, right? So, but it happened. I taught my son how to curse. I learned how to curse when I was 7 years old. So, that's it. Like it's like, am I wrong? And it's like, no, I'm not. Like he was trying to curse anyway. I was like, no, let me teach you the right way. You know, that's it. So if people, I'm not wicked, evil for that. If it's a sin, then I'll take it as my sin because I taught him this when he was 7 or 8 years old. You see what I'm saying? It's like I hate that. Don't do that. The idea that it is horrible when things are not the way we like to be. Exactly. So I always tell people like because I have my issues or whatever, like I have my certain things that I like done a certain way, I do it myself. Like I don't tell people. I have I have thalassemia. Thalassemia, thalassemia. I don't think it's thalassemia, but anyway. So I have thalassemia. So it's like I get fatigued. Like I have to have a steak. I don't like meat that much. So all these things, like it's like it makes me a very rotten individual to be around. Like, you know what I'm saying? I'm picky. So for the most part, like most of my life, people that know that I'm picky, they are okay with me being picky. But then I meet some people, it's a problem. And it's only a problem because they heard that my cousin would have a problem with it. So it's like, okay, so he's just joking. But anyway, that's what it is. It's like the idea that it's horrible when things are not the way we like them to be. That's not something that you have to get frustrated about. You just make it the way that you want it to be. You understand what I'm saying? It's like um, if you ask for it a certain way and you don't get it that way, usually what I do is like, okay, I'm like, all right, I'll try to find a way to do this myself. But like that's what it is. It's like I don't know. Let's see what he says. Instead of the idea that it is that we would better try to change or control bad conditions so that they become more satisfactory. And if that is not possible, we had better temporarily accept and gracefully lump their existence. So I guess another example of this is like the whole food stamp situation when it's like because you shop at Whole Foods on your food stamps, then something is wrong with you. Like you should not be doing that. You should just be going to Aldi's and Kroger or something like that. So it's like, things like that. Like when people are just like, it's not the way I think it is. So guess what? That's what it is. It's horrible. And it's like that's not the truth. The idea that human misery is invariably externally caused and is forced on itself by outside people and events. Instead of the idea that neurosis is largely caused by the view that we take unfortunate conditions. Okay, I think that's the truth. Like a lot of people think that whipping a child is like, well, my parents whipped me, well, and I turned out okay. No, you didn't. Because you are now thinking that being abusive is the only way to solve the problem. Like you're not using your words, you're not using your actions. A video on TikTok where the guy's like, you got to show your children what to do. And he's like in there putting his cup in the sink and he's in there laying down, taking a nap. And he's like, okay. And he's putting things away. And it's like, that's what they're saying. Like, it's so many other ways for you to solve the problems. It's a good video called Far from a Tree or something like that. I think it's by Disney. Let me put it in here. Far from, and it's a good example of like growth mindset and like far from the tree. It's a good example of growth mindset and just like how um it's a good example of growth mindset and how like you can view like different things like that. Like it's like I don't have to hurt you. Like some people are, I cannot get that. Like how um pain has to be caused or whatever. But I don't think that's what he's saying in this though, because he said instead of the idea that neurosis is largely caused by the view that we take of unfortunate conditions. That's the truth. I think that's the truth. Yeah, okay, I am talking about the same thing. So yeah, it's like, yeah, we just look at stuff and it's like, well, I went through this. I had a struggle meal, so now my kids can have a struggle meal, and it's like, really, it's not a struggle meal. It was good. I'm sorry, rice and eggs is good with a little sugar. I'm sorry, it's good. You just making ends meet. You see what I'm saying? It's like that's how it is. It's like you have to like change your perspective of how you see everything. The idea that if something is or may be dangerous or fearsome, we should be terribly upset and endlessly obsess about it. Exactly. Let it go. Let it go. Let it go. Let it go. You could also cross into the world of exploring how to get over it. You understand what I'm saying? Like, um, I'm scared of heights. I still do stuff with heights so I can get over it. Like I don't know how to swim. I still put on a life jacket and try to swim so I can get over it. You know what I'm saying? It's not something that I'm just like, oh my god, and it's like, no, I'm sorry. It's like this is a happy moment. My son can swim. I can't swim. You know what I'm saying? So I do things in the water with my son. Um, the idea that it's easier to avoid than to face life difficulties and self responsibilities, instead of the idea that the so called easy way is usually much harder on the long run. The idea that it is easier to avoid and to face life. Oh, exactly. I do have a difficulty facing people now that they want to argue with me. I don't want to argue with them. Because it's not my responsibility. And I think that's a good stance for me to take. I don't think I have to step into arguments. Instead of the idea that the so called easy way is to usually make much harder in the long run. So it's not that I'm doing it to be easy, I'm doing it to be safe. But I understand what he's saying. If I just say something and just get it out of the way, maybe it'll be over. And it's like, yeah, I don't think so. I think it'll cause more problems. The idea that we absolutely need something other or stronger or greater than ourselves on which to rely instead of the idea that it's better to take the risk of thinking and acting less dependently. Um, I think that's something else. Like I have never had the idea of like, okay, let me depend on somebody else. Like I've always had the idea of like try to stay strong, try to be there for yourself and all these different things. Like I've never been that way. I've been around a lot of weak people. And so I've seen how they are and how they try to use and manipulate people because they are not as strong. So that's something else that I don't know. That's it. The idea that I mean, that's the truth. Like, you don't always need to mistreat or misuse people just because they're stronger than you. I was also told that when I was younger, because I'm smart, is why they're doing what they're doing to me. Like, the kidnapper would be like, well, it's because you're smarter than everybody in the house. Like, if you're smarter than all of us, then that means that you have to endure this pain. You have to go through this because you're smarter than everybody. Or like it'll be like if I get into an argument with somebody in the house, it'll be like, well, you have to apologize because you're older, or you have to apologize because you're younger, or you have to apologize because they just have these stupid reasons for me to apologize. And so that's it right there. Like you never know how stupid people really are, like how they think, man. It's like that's really what it is. It's like I don't know if has seen the type of stupidity that me and my family have had to endure. Let me see. I think that's it for today. Like, I'm gonna finish the rest of the video charge, but yeah, that's it. The six for this video is enough. Just the first six, but it's by Albert Ellis, not Albert Einstein. What is it? 12 irrational beliefs. Anyway, that's it. You guys have a great day. Let me post this real quick. Put that up there. Albert Ellis 12 Irrational Beliefs. And I'll finish the next six in another video. Thank you. Have a great day.